Hello everyone, welcome back to Beer versus Beer. Today we've got a great battle for you. You might notice the video quality being better today. It's still going to be bouncy. Unfortunately, I can't solve that problem right now. But it should be a sharper image. The downside is I can't get my new microphone to work. The new camera is working, but when I try to record with the new microphone, it's making the videos get caught up and not working properly. And I even tried it because I thought the audio might be a little more important. I tried doing it with the built-in webcam and the new mic, but it still had the glitches happening. With just the microphone, but it's working fine with just the webcam, which is weird to me. I would have thought that the webcam would cause more problems, like not having enough memory or something, than the microphone. But for some reason, this microphone seems to be causing more problems with my computer than the webcam. So for now, unfortunately, until I can find a workaround, the audio is still going to be subpar. I apologize for that. This is my 25th, according to my log here, 25th beer comparison. And I've got another German one for you. And returning to, these are Weizenbocks. We've got the Schneider Weisse Aventinus Eisbock, so it's even stronger than the normal Aventinus, against the Weihenstephaner Vitus. Even with the new, I also got new lighting, but it's almost too bright. So anyway, I did want to compare the Weihenstephaner Vitus with the regular Schneider Weisse Aventinus, but the bottle shop ran out of the regular Aventinus and for several months has not had any in, and all they have left are these Eisbocks that have been sitting there. So unfortunately, that is what it is. So the Eisbock is actually not the apples to apples comparison that would be more ideal, because it is 12 versus 7.7. So the Weihenstephaner 7.7, the Schneider Weisse Eisbock, Aventinus Eisbock is 12. So, but anyway, this might actually help it be a little bit more likely for Schneider Weisse to compete, though. That's how I'm choosing to look at it. Since the Vitus is one of my favorites, maybe the Eisbock version. I've had both the Eisbock and the regular Aventinus before. I don't know exactly which one I prefer because I haven't done those head to head, which I also would like to do someday. But they're both great. I didn't get as much of that out as I would have liked. Yeast on the bottom. I'm finding it harder to do for some reason lately. Anyway, so while this isn't exactly the comparison I wanted to do, it's the closest I could come to, and I've been waiting quite a while to try to do it. So go ahead and get that in view. Alright, this could take a while to get all of this out because the way these foam up. I've let these sit out a little bit while I was trying to troubleshoot, so hopefully they've warmed up a little bit, because I do find that a lot of these beers do much better when there's a little bit of warming up from the fridge temp. In my experience, you get much more of the odors and the flavors. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to go ahead and just show you comparison. Obviously, the Aventinus Eisbock is a lot darker. It might be a little lighter on the edges in real life than you're seeing on camera. This looks almost very dark mahogany brown. and that's not far off. It is pretty brown. The Aventinus also is showing a little bit darker on my screen than it is in real life. It's actually a little bit more yellow, not quite as orangey as it seems to be coming off on camera. I know I'm using Ondex glasses. I chose not to bust out the Moss glassware from the Weihenstephaner and use the same glasses this time. But the glasses are from Ondex, but neither of these are Ondex beers. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start with the scent. As you can see, the Eisbock is already, try to get some of that out. The Eisbock is already losing its head, and that could very well be because of the higher percentage. All right. This is taking a lot longer than I hoped. Sorry about that. Anywho, that's going to take a long time if I try to wait. So let me know in the comments if you prefer I pour them before starting. I just know some people like to see that, the pour, but it does add a little bit of extra time. Okay, yeah, so the scent's starting to improve. Definitely has a little bit of that alcohol smell being so strong. Getting some dark fruit notes, almost, I mean, I guess it makes sense. It is a Bock. But I don't necessarily expect that in a Weizenbock, which this is, if I understand correctly. Pretty sure this is just a stronger version of the Aventinus, which is a Weizenbock. So I'm getting more Doppelbock kind of sense. Yeah, it smells good. Not quite as strong as the normal Doppelbock. Let me go ahead and start. Yeah, I'm getting some of the dark fruit, maybe fig, on the Aventinus. A little bit of bitterness that I didn't expect and didn't recall. Interesting. Okay, let's see if I can get some of this yeast off the bottom of the Weihenstephaner. Seemed to work a little bit. Still some left in the bottom. That's typical. All right, let's see. Grab my water here. Okay, did not expect this. I've had Vitus a couple times recently. I'm getting a little bit of that nail polishy sort of scent. Okay. So the Vitus, as you can tell, definitely looks like a Weizenbock. It basically looks like a Weissbier. And it very much is more obviously a Weissbier than the Aventinus Eisbock. This Vitus, you get more of the typical clove banana kind of scents and notes, but I am getting a little bit of that nail polish as well. Yeah, I mean, these don't really seem at all to be similar in style. Okay, this is going to be hard because I'm considering this as a Weizenbock head-to-head, and I'm starting to wonder if that's not really a fair comparison. I think I'm going to have to just do it as beer versus beer strictly and not necessarily according to category. This can make it harder though, because they're both really good. All right. Huh. Very smooth. Yeah, I mean, you can tell this is related to the normal Hefeweizen. This Eisbock is really good. It's just totally different. Oh, this is tough. Okay, so I want to keep this video fairly short, not ramble on too long. I love Doppelbocks, as you guys know. The Aventinus Eisbock is more reminiscent of that, although it's not quite the same. And there is a little bit of that strong nail polish-y sort of note, but it's not off-putting. It's good. It's got the dark fruit-ish notes, but a little bit more sharp, a little more bitter. So more pungent might be one way of describing it. The Vitus is much more smooth. Some sips are more smooth than others. You still get that banana clove underlying Weissbier experience, just a little bit dialed up. So I think the question would be is if I could only have one of these, or I was going to order it, a third, which I wouldn't do. After these, which one would I want? Like, which one would I want to do a short session with? I think I would have to say the Weihenstephaner Vitus. Smoother, not quite as sharp, a little bit more smooth, and honestly more like a Weizenbock. And the Aventinus Eisbock is very good. I would never turn one down. It's closer to a Doppelbock, which I love. This might be unfair to say without comparing it directly to a Doppelbock, but the problem is, I'm trying to be fair. It's not quite a Doppelbock, so it's sort of in this weird territory where it reminds me of a Doppelbock. I think it's closer to a Doppelbock than what I think of as a Weissbier, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Depending on the day, I could see wanting one over the other. But it's just a little bit more, yeah, it's just sharper, a little bit, has more of an edge. So it's not quite as smooth. It has more changes on the palate, but not necessarily for the better. So I don't want to say it's offensive. That's not fair. But there's some notes that are less enjoyable. Let's put it that way, as it evolves on the palate. So for that reason, I'm going to say overall, the Vitus is more enjoyable. And that's what this is about. So Weihenstephaner wins again. Prost. See you next time.